What up and welcome. We are at the Shooting Gallery in Virginia, Beasts of the East, Cascadia, getting things going here on Sim World TV. I am Marsh, joined in the booth by Siege for a game, Siege, with massive implications on both sides for Cascadia. A lost and one Bad Boys win, and they are out of playoff contention. Meanwhile, Beasts of the East, a win, and they guarantee a top 5 seed and the avoiding of Rocky Mountain Originators or Gotham 5 in the opening round. Siege. Big game, a lot of excitement, a lot on the line.
Todd, what up? Excited. Here we are. Got two great teams. Get to see Arthur Lattimore play. He's going to get us started hot down there against Levin Cutler, another great big. Like you said, a lot of playoff implications. And I think it's interesting, you mentioned that if they were to lose tonight, one Bad Boys win would mean that they are mathematically eliminated. That being said, Bad Boys have a tough schedule coming up. I believe it's comprised of Gotham 5, Rocky Mountain, Run DMV, and I'm blanking on the fourth, but it's another great team. So you never know what could happen here. You assume they would get a win, but anyways, Cascadia is going to want to win this game regardless, just to keep that from being out of their hands.
Well, Bad Boys has DMV, Philadelphia, Gotham 5, and this Beasts of the East squad to round it out. So they need one win, and coupled with a Cascadia loss could end things. But Cascadia, a bit of a, let's call it what it is, a spade, a disappointing season. They bring in Jason Tata over the offseason to pair him with Montel Cage, and certainly the emergence of Arthur Lattimore, Tyshawn McGrady have been positive, but this is a team, I think, that many people expected to be much better than what they are, as they've floated under 500 as they're down 6-2 here early on. A disappointing season for a team that entered with very high expectations.
Yeah, I think we expected more from them, especially, it was disappointing, but it wasn't disappointing in the fact that they had a guy who's been a top 10 player all season in Arthur Lattimore. And honestly, another one of those teams, we've got a few of them that it really doesn't make sense that they're not a little bit better than they are. There's been quite a few of those teams this year that we expected a little more out of, but it doesn't mean they're out of it yet. If they were to get into the race to 1, you never know what could happen there.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Beasts of the East, led by Coach Drayton, have been riding the hot hand of Fareed Redmond and Levin Cutler as the triple falls there for Leonidas Wright. Wright had the incredible overtime last week against Atlantis after Fareed Redmond's game-tying three-pointer at the buzzer forced overtime in a massive comeback there for Beasts of the East. Beasts have been, for the most part, up, but have had some up-and-down season, or part of the season, but playing at a slightly better rate than we've seen them for much of the year, at least recently.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think some of that you got to contribute to the emergence of a Leonidas Wright, of a Kasim Porter Jr., of the defense of Isaiah James, guys who weren't necessarily huge contributors when the season started, or not even with the team when the season started. So they've added some pieces who've really come on strong and kind of been good rounding pieces for this team to make them more versatile, more well-versed all around the board.
Games in which they've shown that they did lose to Europe, as this is a turnover here. Redmond trying to push in transition. Reset at the top. That's Kasim Porter Jr. But Beasts of the East, one of the things that's plagued them, they lost by 13 to Europe most recently. What has plagued them have been dominant big mans, and you mentioned Arthur Lattimore, a top 10 guy for much of this season. He doesn't get much more dominant than Lattimore.
No, he is the only guy I think that is in the conversation with him and probably has him beat for dominance on the court is a guy like Tyson Simpson. When you talk about physical dominance in the paint, just imposing his will, the only other guy that really comes to mind in the same way is Tyson Simpson. I think Trey Hyman does it, but not at the same explosive offensive level, if that makes sense. Tyson Simpson, on the other hand, him and Arthur Lattimore are those guys.
Fareed Redmond misses the step-back three, the rebound to Redmond. Here's the pull-up three, or off the screen, rather, and that's McGrady. He gets it going. Tyshawn McGrady, that's the 20th made three of his season. 37% from beyond the arc is McGrady, who joined this Cascadia team at the halfway point. He's appearing in his 15th game of the season. Cascadia, of course, is playing now in their 29th. So joined at the midway point, and he's been a nice addition to this rotation. As this is a steal heading in the opposite direction. And a foul called on right. I'm not sure how it's a block when he's behind him, but it blocked nonetheless, or at least a foul called here. And that will get some substitutions going on both sides as the Beasts of the East resetting their lineup. Isaiah James and Kamarian Goodyear stepping in here for Coach Drayton. Leading by 4 just past the midway point here in the first game of the SimWorld TV night. And a foul called there on Levin Cutler. Cutler has been certainly impactful when he's been on the floor. 14 points, 8 boards. I can consistently go back to the game we called against Gotham 5. Beasts of the East pulled out to a huge lead on the back of Levin Cutler and JoJo Kearney just being on the floor. Struggled when they were without him. Cutler may not be necessarily that explosive, dominant big man Siege, but what he does provide is consistency and an interior presence that is matched only by the elite of the elite.
He's a very skilled big. He's got great footwork. He's got a really nice drop step to his game. He's the kind of guy who can finesse you down in the post. He's not the biggest guy, as we've mentioned before. 6'9", 215, not a small guy by any means, but isn't the kind of guy who's going to physically impose himself. But he does absolutely have the footwork and the finesse in the post to kind of more than make up for that.
Driving into the paint, that is Goodyear just checking in and immediately getting 2 points on the board for Beasts of the East. Back and forth first quarter that we've been treated to, and a foul called here on Eric Bousquet. We learned the pronunciation, the appropriate pronunciation of that one last time out. Swede. Swedish origins. Family from New York, immigrated originally from Sweden.
That's good.
And speaking of the world, the Women's World Cup got underway, I believe, this morning. So, U.S. women's soccer team looking to catch that gold medal again. As that's a three-pointer there from Jetson Halliday checking in off the bench here for Cascadia.
Something about the first name having Jet in it makes me think he's a sniper from deep, which looked like one there.
Well, certainly from Helena, Montana. You better be a sniper. Dumps it inside here. Beasts of the East up by 2. Just over 2 minutes to play. That kicks out, swings its way around. Plenty of ball movement here from Cascadia as they try to find a way into the bucket. And a nice take there. That is going to be 2 points from Chris Murray. He also drew the foul earlier in this first quarter. Ties this thing up at 13 apiece. There are good defensive teams going at it. Driving into the paint, can't get it done as Goodyear. Kicks it out up top. Screen coming here from Cutler.
Talking to Isaiah James, brothers of the infamous Indy James, if you will. And I was asking him just what's kind of the team's mindset going in, what are they thinking, and right on brand, he just said defense. I asked him to expand. He said, we think if we play the matchups well and on the other side take good shots, they're going to win this game with ease.
Impressive interior defense this time by Cascadia. Answering the call on behalf of Isaiah James on the opposite side, but answering the call right back because Beasts of the East, another turnover in what you could either classify as a sloppy offensive game or a dominant defensive game. Of course, Beasts of the East enter with the league's best defense, fewest points against, fewest or lowest opponent field goal percentage. This is a dominant defensive unit that very rarely allows the opposing team to get rolling, allowing just 62 points per game on 43% shooting. That's 10 percentage points, or 1/100th of a percentage point lower than the next closest team. Late shot clock, gonna have to jack for 3. That is not going to touch a single thing, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Beasts of the East 2.7 seconds will separate the game and shot clock as Cootie XO checks in.
Kisses for everyone, Marsh.
Hugs and kisses abound. Here's Bousquet.
Bousquet.
Late first quarter, running down the clock, trying to get it inside to Levin Cutler. They do. He's going to go to work in the paint. Getting nowhere, though. Going up, gets the tough bucket to fall. Difficult make there from Cutler, but he gets it to go, and that will end the first quarter. Beasts of the East, their defense showing up as you'd expect, on top of Cascadia. Levin Cutler playing well. Camarion Goodyear, a couple buckets off the bench. And it's Beasts of the East, 4-point lead at home. Must-win game for Cascadia. Second quarter coming up next.
Hey, what's up, baby? How you doing, little? Good. To see y'all. Y'all looking great.
Thank you.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, we ready.
All right. Let's see what you got here. Oh, you got them sitting on them big boys? Ooh, yo. Bro, that's clean.
Yeah, I knew you like it, man. I knew you like it.
I just got one problem, though.
What's that?
It's a goddamn robbery, man. Can't be riding around here with 20. You trying to be incognito.
Man, that's all I can
This
get.
ain't gonna work, bro. What we doing?
I wonder what they arguing about. Girl, I told him that shit wasn't gonna work. He don't listen to nothing.
What's that noise?
Okay.
Pop the trunk, man. I know. Pop the trunk, bro.
No,
Pop the goddamn trunk, man.
I'm serious right now.
How you gonna steal the car and then keep the dude in the car that you stole the car from?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my friends. By the way, you have a very nice ride. I really, really, really like it. Can I just reach around you and grab the shotty really quick, really fast? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, and a few of these bullets. Let's go. Man, I told you to be inconspicuous. Shh. Don't go nowhere.
in that dasher with a vixen. You don't wanna see us blitzing. Underhanded pitching, hit him straight up in his mitten. Hope the Lord forgive him, man. His grandma been praying, been a bad boy since the Pistons. Wipe his nose, ain't no call. Tell his partners come get him. Stumping yachters with the pigeons. When we talking outside lingo, ain't no talking over digits. Currents over karma, ain't no motherfucking sentence. Tell him black sent you, sir, your people not your feeling. Oh, man, this smoke was alright. Man, her ass was alright. Don't ask me if I'm alright. Pray this shit gon' go right. All my people alright. All my people alright. All my people alright. All my people alright. Man, this smoke was alright. Man, her ass was alright. Don't ask me if I'm alright. Pray this shit gon' go right. All my people alright. All my people alright. All my people alright. All my people alright.
Welcome back to the shooting gallery. Beasts of the East owning a 4-point lead as we kick off the second quarter in Virginia. Cascadia needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive as the dirty step back layup. Kamarian Goodyear. No regard.
Yucky.
First quarter. Go ahead, Siege.
Where is Arthur Lattimore?
Lattimore is on the bench. You believe he played the full 8 minutes of that first quarter.
I think he did. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he did. If he did, he was quiet. This is a must-win game. Where is your guy?
I believe he actually is checking in on the sideline here right in front of us. Driving to the rack. That's Cody hugs and kisses for his first points of the game coming off the bench. Leading scorers after the first quarter, Fareed Redmond and Levin Cutler, 4 points apiece. That's leading Beasts of the East. Tyshawn McGrady had 5 in that first quarter to lead all scorers for Cascadia. Here's Beasts of the East now up by 8. The largest lead of the game here. Our defense showing up yet again. If there's any reason to believe this team, the title team, is a disgusting drive inside. Gets the bucket and the foul. Foul call there on Colt Amron, and that will send Beasts of the East to the line. Chance to make it an 11-point lead here.
Have we seen Doc Ock tonight? Have we seen Isaiah James in the game at all?
Yes, he entered in the first quarter as Bousquet hits the line here.
Just not noticing. Need some playmakers out there.
Never a good sign if you can't notice that somebody's been in the game. Timeout here from Cascadia. We'll step aside. Come back second quarter. Beasts of the East dominating here to start it over the first minute and a half. Lead by 11. Cascadia ball when we return. Welcome back here in Virginia. First game of the SimWorld TV night. You're getting a treat in on the second game. Rocky Mountain Monsters at home against SimWorld South America. South America, a team that I've certainly made no bones about their struggles. They won 5 in a row, and I think it was 10 straight losses. They have since kind of righted the ship. They're 11-16, 2 games out of the playoff spot. So don't look now. But South America has completely turned that season around here late in the game. But that's the second game of 2 here on SimWorld TV. And, of course, all games broadcast on SimWorld TV on YouTube. That's where you're at right now. It's the official home of the Race to 1. So make sure you are subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, youtube.com/SimWorldTV. Arthur Lattimore checks back in. Going to go to work. That one's halfway down and out. Rebound heads the opposite direction. Pulled down by Kieran. Steele's going to flip it the other way. Tyshawn McGrady pull up 3 at the front rim.
You gotta hit your shots in a must-win game. That's a wide open 3.
Now, certainly we said it at the start. Cascadia, the loss doesn't eliminate them. And Bad Boys' schedule is not favorable. Of course, Atlantis would be an equal beneficiary, or is an equal beneficiary, of the struggling or the potentially dangerous schedule Bad Boys has, but by no means do you want to fall in the position where you need Bad Boys to lose 4 straight, even if it's a highly competitive group that they've got going. Gotham 5, Beasts of the East, Philadelphia, and Run DMV. It's by far an expectation that they would go 0-4. It's a pull of 3 there. Hit for Reed Redmond, and we get another Cascadia timeout. Beasts of the East, a 10-0 run to start this second quarter siege. Their offense has been great, but yet again, the top defense in SimWorld Hoops has come to play.
Again, I mean, Isaiah James told me straight up that's what their focus is. It seems like that's what their focus is every game. Cascadia, I want to see them find a way to kind of get Arthur Lattimore going down low. This is a tough defense. They don't let people get to their spots. And what I'm seeing a lot of is Arthur Lattimore kind of getting the ball at the top of the key, these little handoffs, and try to like dive off of it. Beasts of these defense is too good for that. They're too smart for that. They're not going to let like that kind of little cool play work. They need to get Arthur Lattimore down low on the block, throw him the ball. Even he can handle the ball fine. He's not the best ball handler, but set him a screen or something, put the ball in his hands, and have him make a play. The little tool plays where he dives off of the handoff, it's obviously not working against this defense. And they're down by 14 points in what is virtually a must-win game. They're not, like we've said multiple times, mathematically eliminated, but what it does is takes their chances for the race to 1 completely out of their hands. Completely out of their hands. And that's not a situation you want to be in.
Until Cage walks this one up. We talked as Arthur Lattimore cannot get the fadeaway to go, and that'll be rebounded.
Arthur.
Corralled there.
Why are we feeding?
We talked about this team getting Jason Tata. Tata was a very talented player last season at Showtime, or then at Los Angeles. Was expected to be the centerpiece of this group. Cascadia this season, we have not called his name at all in this one. Tata, a complete no-show so far as he tries to change things. Unable to get anything going. Double team comes. That's Montel Cage. The outlet there from McGrady. Swings it back to Tata. Gets the screen from Arthur Lattimore. Wants to pull up. That one's too strong off the back rim.
Marsh, I'm about to go on one of my rants. They're taking a lot of outside shots, and they're not hitting their shots tonight. You know what you do when you're not hitting your shots, your faders, your mid-ranges, your threes, whatever. You go inside, you bang down low. I know they're a great defense, but honestly, one of their better parts of their defense is their perimeter defense and not letting them get down low with like all things like that. And they're giving into it. They're not forcing their way down low. They're letting Beasts of the East keep them on the perimeter, and they're not hitting shots. They need to be much more aggressive going towards the rim right now.
Well, in theory, that three-point percentage for Beasts of the East actually is 23rd or 27th in the league. They allow 41.8% shooting from opposing teams from deep, but three-pointer is not as a drive to the rack, and that's going to be Kasim Porter Jr. for 2. But three-point shooting is as much luck as it is defense. Where their defense has thrived has been in the paint, Beasts of the East, so they've looked the part today. They are keeping Cascadia now as we approach 5 minutes of second quarter action, completely scoreless in this one. They have flipped a 4-point game into a 20-pointer.
Yeah, and because of those percentages, I'm sure that the game plan was to come out and shoot. That's what they want to do. The thing is, you can play a team that doesn't have the greatest three-point defense percentage-wise, but the problem is, if your shots aren't falling, it doesn't really matter what their defense is, because they've been missing wide-open shots. Thank God Arthur Lattimore stops the bleeding at least a little bit, but I mean, you have to make that adjustment now. Like, you have to say, we're not hitting our shots. We can keep taking them, but if we're not hitting them, it doesn't matter what their percentage defense is.
Well, that ends what was a 16-0 run over 5 minutes and 12 seconds of second quarter action, as this has flipped and Montel Cage passes up a layup in favor of a poor pass to Jason Tata as he steps back, tries to get a 2 to go, and does. But this is Cascadia offense has not been here at all, due in large part to this Beast of the East defense, and that has allowed Beast of the East to get rolling, get running downhill, and get active in transition. That's a big part of this 16-point lead.
Absolutely, they're great when they're running.
Pull three. Cuddy hugs and kisses, gets it to go.
And everything's just going for them. Kind of one of those games. They are playing really well. I don't want to take credit away where credit's due. They're just hitting shots. They're hitting shots, and that is a blessing.
Montel Cage from the free throw line won't go. And what we saw in the first quarter from BC East was a lot of ball movement, a lot of probing, inside, outside, trying to find the open man. We have seen none of that here in the second quarter. A lot of one-pass possessions leading to fadeaways, to contested jumpers. The first shot that shows up for Cascadia, they're just gladly taking it rather than allowing this game to come to them. And driving inside as McGrady used the double screen. That'll be a timeout, Beast of the East, with 1:01 to play. Reminder that between this first game and the matchup with Rocky Mountain in South America, a big-time tilt with Justin Bell, Patricio Ramirez. Stay tuned for the post-up between every single SimWorld TV game. Post-up treats you to some good SimWorld Hoops action, some NBA conversation, college talk every now and again, but some miscellaneous talk as well. But that will be coming up here between our first and our second game, and this is on the heels of a exciting SimWorld TV triple header last night. Siege, Run DMV, a stunning blowout of Originators, the fewest points the Originators have scored. Lone Star continues their skid. They fall to Southeast Select at home, and then Heartland Zombie Stars, a team that has quite honestly been quite competitive. I think it's 9 games that have been decided by 6 points or fewer. They beat Showtime on the road, and buying in again to that Showtime narrative, they don't get it quite done against the teams that you'd expect them to, the teams at or well below 500 as Heartland is. Another one of those losses for Showtime as that's up and in. That's Kearney for 2. We're back to 19 points.
What do you think about Coach Dodge's comments following that game?
You know, Coach Dodge's comments feel very, I said it earlier, out of pocket, very uncharacteristic. Yeah. This is not, I understand losing can take a toll on you, but it's surprising just to the extent as Jetson Holiday gets a tough mid-range to go. But very surprising the way in which she decided to speak.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think it's perfectly said that it's out of character for her. The thing for me is, I think what we're seeing is just a different side of her, because the thing is, before last night, before this little 2-game losing streak, I mean, they had only lost a handful of, they'd only lost 5 games all season, and none of them were as ugly as the one they lost last night. So I think what we were seeing was just a different side of her that we're not used to seeing, that frustration.
Well, we're getting a different side of this Cascadia team, but a very similar side of Beast of the East Siege. Their defense is dominating as they take a commanding lead into halftime. You mentioned Isaiah James, knew this was going to be a focal point. I imagine that's a sentiment echoed by head coach Drayton. Is there anything different that they need to do in the second half to keep this way, or is there anything that Cascadia can do to turn it around?
No, Beast of the East are doing exactly what they need to do. They're playing their game. They're playing it well. They're hitting shots. They're doing all the things that they do well. This is the Beast of the East game we're seeing. Cascadia, I was going to go on a rant. You were talking about something, so I held myself back. Here's the thing that Cascadia is not doing. Getting Arthur Lattimore on the block. He's on the perimeter setting screens when he's got a mismatch on a guard from BC. It's ridiculous. To make it 2-possession game, and they will.
Definitely gonna have to look elsewhere.
Oh!
H-Town shit. Know what I'm saying?
Ricky taught me.
We're back, second half underway now as BCD's holding a 17-point edge thanks to, yet again, the top defense in SimWorld Hoops showing up in that first half. 7 points from Cootie Hugs and Kisses. 7 points from Fareed Redmond as well. A good first half. Fareed Redmond, the step back three. And we're back to 20 points up. Beast of the East sensing this as an opportunity for them to position themselves well in the seeding for Race to 1. Certainly have arrived and played to the standard you'd expect of a team facing that type of adversity. Meanwhile, as JoJo Kearney calls for a foul, Cascadia Siege, facing a must-win game, have just not looked up to the challenge.
Said before half, what I would really love to see them do is use Arthur Lattimore a little more efficiently. I get it. Against a lot of teams, it works really well for them, and it has all season to do the screen and roll or the handoff and dive. He's very good at that. He's a very mobile big for one that's so dominant. That being said, he's finding himself in mismatches. When you get a player of his dominance in a mismatch against a smaller player, there's no reason you shouldn't throw it to him on the block. You either get a double team, a bucket, or a foul, or a combination of the three. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. And in a must-win game like this, I don't understand why there aren't more in-the-moment adjustments being made.
Certainly Lattimore has not been as involved in that first half from head coach Isaiah Pope. But truthfully, all aspects of this Cascadia offense, ever since BC's kicked off a 16-0 run to start that second quarter, that lasted for 5 minutes and 12 seconds. The Cascadia offense, as part of that, has just been out of sorts, rushing shots, taking ill-advised, contested jumpers. We haven't seen that explosive ball movement that we saw in the first quarter. Kept this game 17-13 as Lattimore stuffed. Misses 2 shots on that one.
And here's something they've done well in the past couple of possessions, but also on the other, we keep talking about what Cascadia can do on offense. On defense, they just got to lock up. They got to find a way to just be a little more intense on defense. Because Beast of the East in the first half were getting whatever they wanted, and that just simply can't be the case.
And that Cascadia defense, not necessarily something they're known for. They entered tonight allowing the 29th most points per game, 71.7. Or rather, put it as second most, third most, as Reed Redmond gets 2 more to go. They've allowing 29th, 71.7. They allow opponents to shoot 29th from the floor, 49.2. This is a team that relies on offensive rebounds and free throws. They haven't really gotten either of those going.
That was nice. He had the mismatch, and I would have told him to be aggressive, put his body into him, but he put a little cross lay on him.
JoJo Kearney trying to do a little on-ball creation of his own. Can't get that to go. There's Tada trying to go to work. Quiet first half. Gets a step back to go. Foul called here on Dozier, but that is not going to negate the bucket, so the bucket's going to count. Foul gives the ball to Beast of the East. They would have had it anyway. But down to a 16-point game. And breaking news, Bad Boys falls to Run DMV, so Cascadia, a loss here, doesn't eliminate them completely, but we wanted a comeback for Reed Redmond having other ideas, so the margin for error for Cascadia opened ever so slightly by that Bad Boys loss, as Montauk Cage missed a wide open big man inside. Finally gets it to Dozier. Dozier up and under.
They're going on a little run here. Here we go. This game, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time to go on a run.
We're down 16. You'd like that run to come now-ish.
Absolutely. If they can cut it to single digits going into the fourth quarter, they're in fine shape.
Jump ball called here for Reed Redmond. Tied up. Yes, it is. McGrady will do the jump ball privileges for Beast of the East. They will not get down. Beast of the East snag that. Tight defense being played there by Jason Tada. Up top, Kasim Porter Jr. pull up 3. No good. Rebound for Lattimore.
They're opening the door for him. Good dish.
Transition bucket, and just like that, after being down by 20, they've pulled to within 14 within the first 4 minutes of this third quarter.
Their defense, honestly. Their defense, they've locked up a little bit. They're forcing BCDs to take tougher shots like that one, and they're crashing the boards well.
Tim Ricks missed that. Bench player averages just 0.4 points per game. He struggled from the floor. Here's Arthur Lattimore to the paint, gets it to go. We're looking at a 12-point game. The run is on.
And he is energized right now. That's electric as he screams down the court.
Cascadia pulling to within 12, down by as many as 20. Arthur Lattimore getting going. Tyshawn McGrady has been good. Cascadia Porter Jr. pull up three. Silences the Cascadia bench. Feeling the momentum shift here in the shooting gallery to the opposing sideline. Cascadia has that one answered by Porter Jr. Here's Montel Cage up, under, gets 2 to go. Falls underneath the stanchion there, but heads back out, rolls up the first stair, all the way up to that stage here in the shooting gallery.
This is the closest they've been in a while.
Redmond on McGrady. Redmond has been on point tonight. He gets yet another. He has been phenomenal here to play this second half. We're going to get a timeout. We'll step aside. Cascadia trying to cut into this lead, down by 14, 2:37 to play in the third quarter. We're back, shooting gallery here in Virginia. Old Dominion nearby. Cascadia trying to fight their way in, down by 14. They trail by as many as 20. For Beast of the East and Fareed Redmond hit some clutch buckets. This game was within 12 not too long ago, but Redmond 5 straight points. He's got 16 siege, 7 of 11 shooting. He didn't enter the season as a guy many expected to be a type of elite scorer, but he has certainly blossomed under the tutelage of Coach Drayton.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Coach Drayton's one of the more involved, one of the more always on top of it coaches we have in this league, in my opinion. He's a very down-to-earth guy, too. I would call him, for the most part, a player's coach. I know his players love playing for him. I know he gets the best out of each and every one of them, and I think that's a big part of this team's identity, is that everyone goes out there and they play their role and they do it to the best of their abilities every night.
Redmond gets that to go. He's also got an exceptionally young team. Just 3 players are 17 years old. That would be Fareed Redmond, Kamarian Goodyear, and Eric Bousquet. So likely to bring back at least 70% of his roster, assuming everybody sticks around. Cascadia, not too much different. 3, 6, or 17-year-olds of their own. Chris Owens, Jason Tata, Montel Cage. Owens expected to return next season. Cage and Tata will not. They'll be headed to the collegiate ranks. There's another bucket here for Beast of the East, and just like that, leads back to 16.
It should, if they can keep a roster together, maybe get 1 or 2 more good recruits. I mean, they should be even better than they are this year. I expect to see Cascadia be a little bit more towards what we expected from them this year, next year, and I honestly expect Beast of the East to be at least where they are in the standings this year, if not better.
And Cascadia had that tough start to the season. Went 1-2 to kick things off. Brought in head coach Isaiah Pope. He's driving to the rack here. Foul. Cannot get it to go. Foul called on Cutler. That'll send Jetson Halliday to the line. Halliday almost had that one down. halfway and out. But Beasts of the East have answered the run by Cascadia. Cascadia got this thing to 12, only for Beasts of the East, Fareed Redmond and company to answer the bell, getting this thing back up to 18, 45 seconds to play in the third. First one up and in. Checking it'll be Chris Murray. Out goes Jason Todd for Cascadia.
It pains me to see Arthur Lattimore on the bench right now in this game. I get it. Everyone needs a rest every once in a while, but you're talking it's a 17-point deficit. Game's not over, though. There's still plenty of time left. And you've got a top 10 player in Sim World sitting on the bench in a must-win game. I don't understand it. I'm not a coach, so I'll let it go. But I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, Marsh.
Well, I have always been a proponent. We can get into this in the fourth quarter as time is winding down here, but I've always been a proponent that there's 32 minutes of game action. Now, no one's encouraging you to play a 17-year-old 32 minutes every single time is a questionable decision by Chris Owens to run right out of bounds, but in a must-win situation, is there any reason that I can find that says Arthur Lattimore shouldn't be playing 32 minutes right now? I think not. Now, again, not advocating for 30 games of that, but when the backs are against the wall and your rally is dwindling, now's the time.
Absolutely. I mean, the only guy who would advocate for 30 games of that is Tom Thibodeau. Other than him, I think most people are on the same page.
Pull up three won't go at the buzzer. We're headed to the fourth. Beasts of the East on top, 55-39. A chance to guarantee a top 5 seed for Beasts of the East. Cascadia needing to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They'll need a massive fourth quarter if they're going to do it. That fourth quarter, final 8 minutes up next.
Remember those pesky squirrels?
Uh-huh.
Well, I trained them.
Fun! Squirrels cutting coupons.
Yep. It's going to save us a ton of money and time.
I love your brain, Bob.
Me too.
Enough! Your tyranny ends now, you filthy humans! Not up, my brothers!
You seem so cool!
Yeah! Oh! The day of the squirrel is upon us!
No!
YOLO!
Oh, burn my head! Oh, God, it's mating with my mouth. Mommy!
Just get it off!
Welcome back to Virginia. It is Barbieheimer Eve here on July 20th as we await what could be historic weekend as Barbie and Oppenheimer debut tomorrow. Siege, you gonna get to either one of those?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that, Marsh? I was just digging into these Rangoons I got here.
Okay, first let's ask this is a snatch block from Cascadia. We're headed the opposite direction. They need a bucket. They won't get it on that possession. The food choice here in Virginia, Siege, I don't think we've visited the food decisions on recent episodes or games, I should say. What are we cooking up? Or buying that's cooked up?
What are we buying that's cooked up? Well, Marsh, I actually have something big planned for us after this game. Well, not after this game. We're not going to be able to go to the restaurant because, we've got another game to get to. But I'm having the Carib Shack, which is a nice Caribbean restaurant here in Virginia. Very highly heralded. I was recommended by a couple of my friends from Virginia, but we're going to get some Caribbean food and we're going to eat it on the jet.
Caribbean in Virginia. That makes perfect sense, but considering you like to get Abrangoon in Miami...
March, it's not... Sometimes you got to get over the region thing. If there's a good restaurant that's actually one of the top 15...
We're in Virginia. This is the crab capital of the world.
March, it's ranked in the top 15 Caribbean restaurants in the country. Well, are we going to pass that up?
Timeout, Beasts of the East. They're on top. Look out now. Cascadia within 11 here. 6:24 to play in the fourth quarter. We'll get back to your Caribbean decision making. Join our Discord, discord.gg/SimWorldNBA. Stay locked in on all things. You, of course, reported today on some of the drama that has engulfed Indy Stripes. Barkley, Benari, James, head coach Javad Storm, all involved in a very interesting situation. All that can be found discord.gg/SimWorldNBA. Within there, if you would like to join the league, whether it's on the floor, behind the clipboard, or behind the mic, make sure you submit your application there. We're always looking for more folks to join the SimWorld Sports Media team. You can call a game, you can report on things, you can make your opinion known. It might not be good, but we've got Rick Blaze to take care of that too. Discord.gg/SimWorldNBA. We're going to step aside, come back for the final 624 of this one coming up next.
Summer Kid season.
Welcome back. Beasts of the East seeing their lead drop down to 11. This is the closest it's been since the first half. And immediately off the Beast timeout, it's going to be a turnover. That's to Montel Cage. And Arthur Lattimore rose to bring one down on KPJ, but cannot get it to fall. Would have cut it to single digits. And an answer on the other end. Leonidas Wright and a massive 4-point swing. Not only would momentum have shifted with that incredible dunk, as Arthur Lattimore does get this one to go on the alley-oop, but would have cut it to 9, although they quickly get it back down to 11.
I mean, they're in it. They're in it here, Marsh. We could have a nice finish. But they got to defend. You got to defend.
Fareed Redmond gets that to go as Beasts of the East. Every time Cascadia has thrown in a counterpunch, they have responded in force. They got it to within 12, they pushed it to 18. They've got this to 11 as he has blocked Arthur Lattimore by 11 Cutler, and this is already back to 13. They try to string together a couple buckets here, Beasts of the East, to put this thing on ice. 8 points for the proverbial magic number. Fareed Redmond driving. Fareed Redmond taking this one over. He has been phenomenal in this game, Siege. He has been the unstoppable force many were hoping Arthur Lattimore might be.
Yeah, absolutely. And a slow start in the first, but really came out, has been doing a lot better. And as you just mentioned, we're 6 points away from the magic number Beast of the East. Now is really the time to make that run for Cascadia. If they let them get there, it's game, set, match.
Montel Cage called for the foul. Fareed Redmond heads to the line. Chance to push it back to 15. He has, you know, as much as Beast of the East has answered the call every time Cascadia's gone on the run, Fareed Redmond has truthfully been the one that has been answering the call here for Beast of the East.
Fareed Redmond had an interesting season. I mean, everyone knows how good he is. He's up there in the top echelon of players. He did have a slump this year, where he kind of disappeared and people were wondering, is he that caliber of player? He's returned to form. We know who he is. And what I will say is he one of the absolute best three-point shooters in the league. I don't know if I would put him in the top 5. What I do think is he's one of the top 5 timely shot makers in this league. We've seen it in multiple games. I'll cite one that you mentioned earlier. That AT Aliens game, not only did he hit the 3 to tie it at the buzzer. Atlantis, I'm so sorry. I get the ATLs, it's all, yeah. All right, well, I'm sorry, Marsh. Anyways, you knew what game I was talking about, which is good, and hopefully our audience is also well-versed in similar. But not only did he hit that 3 at the buzzer to tie the game, he also hit 2 other 3s in the last 3 minutes of that game to get them to a point where that buzzer beater was possible. So he's got the clutch gene. He's got it.
Yeah, they were down 4. This will be the shot that no one remembers because he hits the 30-footer at the buzzer to tie it from the right wing. But down by 4, corner 3 cuts it to 1. Would get 2 free throws to go, but obviously by then it was a 1-possession game. 8.7 seconds left. No timeouts too in that one. I mean, that was the incredible part of that close. No timeouts for Beast of the East. He gets it up and he shoots it even further back from where Cascadia Porter just was, and buries it on this very floor to give Beast of the East the win. And Atlantis, of course, that was the first of 2 straight losses for them as part of 4 total, but back-to-back losses that were just devastating. That has completely shifted their season, but a chance to rebound as Montel Cage can't get that to go. Good late contest there from Cascadia Porter Jr. Again, that would have put us to 10, so every time Cascadia has had an opportunity on their offensive end to make the big bucket, Beast of the East has come up with a big stop. Cascadia Porter has actually been the defender on both of them. And again, they answer Leonidas Wright, as he did the last time down, a big bucket.
Cascadia Porter and Leonidas Wright have been incredible coming on for this team. They both really fit a role. They're also both can be a much bigger part of the team, I think, next year than they are right now. But for now, they fit a role really well for this team.
Both expected back next season for Coach Drayton. Though the offseason certainly can change things. Montel Cage, a pull-up 3, nowhere to go. But the worst possible possession you could have if you're Cascadia there in need of a bucket. If Bad Boys, so Cascadia here, on the cusp of falling, assuming they do, and we mentioned Bad Boys lost earlier today, the margin of error does not get any easier for Cascadia. They would need Bad Boys to lose out. They play Philadelphia, Gotham 5, and this Beast of the East team. They need them to lose out, plus Cascadia would have to win out in order to make the 8 seed of the race to 1. So the margin for error, we said they're not eliminated yet. They could have been had they lost and Bad Boys won in their game. Instead, Bad Boys can't get the job done. And now, as an easy take for Cascadia Porter, they are essentially on the verge of elimination. They aren't essentially, they are on the verge of elimination.
Like you said, margin of error gets smaller and smaller. That window's closing, and assuming they lose, which I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to lose. I mean, it's out of their hands. They can play their part. They got to win the next 2 games, their last 2 games, but other than that, it's really out of their hands. They are going to be the biggest Philadelphia, Gotham 5, and Rocky Mountain fans in the league.
I certainly will have to. I'll pencil in. I would take Bad Boys in only one of those games, Philadelphia. So if they can't beat Philadelphia, the window is certainly open. Though Cascadia would have to, as we said, finish with 3 wins of their own. It won't be easy for them. They've got SimWorld Atlantis and Run DMV to figure their season. That's July 29th and August 3rd. So by no means is the going get easy for Cascadia, as Levin Cutler called for the foul. That'll send Lattimore to the line, and finally Cascadia has a shot to get it to 10, though with under a minute left to play here. This is purely cosmetic, as Beast of the East should likely hang on for this one.
Yeah, I mean, what it would take is them to hit a few threes, and that has not been their strong suit tonight. So I don't know if we're gonna see that. And
Arthur Lattimore can't even get the first. So even with an opportunity again at hand, this is the 3rd time This one the least consequential because this game is over, but 3 times in this fourth quarter, Cascadia has a shot to cut this game to 9 or 10 points, and each time they have failed to do so. Arthur Lattimore missed a dunk on Kasim Porter. Kasim Porter, a nice defense on Montel Cage, and now Arthur Lattimore missing 2 free throws.
Free throws, Marsh. Big proponent. They're called free.
That's the area that Cascadia has relied on to get wins, and that has not happened tonight. Late shot clock, pull up 3, buried. Kasim Porter Jr., 71-56. That'll be the final nail in this coffin. Another block here. Jason Tata turned aside by JoJo Kearney. 5 seconds separated, so Beast of the East will have to either shoot or they're going to shoot, and it's alley-oop style.
Insult to injury. Come on. Was that necessary?
Alley-oop with under 20 seconds to play in a game that's certainly decided, though. Cascadia trying to get at least 1 bucket. Arthur Lattimore won't get it to fall. That is going to do it. Beats of the East are going to win 73-56. Cascadia now on the verge of elimination, or at least contention. Beasts of the East now have locked up a top 5 seed in the conference. For my part of the booth, Siege, for our production team, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the post-up. Immediately following is the second game of our SimWorld TV doubleheader, Rocky Mountain Monsters, SimWorld South America. Marsh, thank you for joining us. As always, see the game, be the game.
starts showing us this stuff that we know we're not old enough to be looking at. So we got, what is he showing us? What's going on? And he says, "What's wrong with you boys? This ain't nothing. Wait till I show you what happened on the bus with the Spice Girls." Hey, welcome. Hey, welcome to the. You got to tell me when the lights on, brother. Welcome to the Post Up. I am Maestro, your boy, joined by the one and only, the man who stood up for me so strongly when I was cut in half on the planet of Mustafar. He came and got me and put me back together and gave me a great black helmet and called me Rise Lord Vader. Rick Blaze, how you doing? Happy 420 day, fam.
My brother, how you doing? You know, it's always 420. I'm having a good time. We just finished the game. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I tell you something, man. Let's head right into this game, man. Beasts of the East came on tonight, gave themselves a chance. I thought Cascadia, being so close, they might fight for it a little bit. Did not happen. Walk us through what you saw, my brother.
Well, I said it a few days ago when Cascadia lost the last game. I said that was it. Cascadia is done. I know King Arthur don't want to hear that, but the facts are the facts. They're a wrap. Beast of the East just came out hitting everything, and Cascadia couldn't get a stop. Nor could they match their points. Cascadia shot 45% for the game, while giving up almost 60% to Beast of the East. Cascadia right now is a team that leans almost predominantly. You talk about teams that has one person and then that's it. Cascadia, you can put in that group of Showtime and Best Coast Ballers because they're only going to go as far as Arthur Lattimore takes them. He had an okay game for 15, nothing exciting, but they don't have that secondary scoring option. So the other teams are missing as well. McGrady had 13 points, but it just wasn't enough. He had actually shot good 6 for 9, but it just wasn't enough overall. They couldn't stop Beast from the East from getting whatever they wanted on the offensive end.
So let me ask you something. Beasts of the East coming off a loss, if I'm not mistaken. A loss that I think surprised a lot of us. Then they get this win.
Yeah.
Are they too EKG to survive the race to one, or do you think they're basically lowering the gauge and they're finding their groove?
I have no idea. I think everybody's in the same damn boat. Everybody's losing games that they should be winning. So
Great point.
Beast of the East is no better, no worse than anybody else. So, I can't even knock. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. Maybe everybody just getting knocked down a notch before they turn up 2 more notches, I guess. I'm not sure, but I don't know what the case, what in the hell of a case of curious Benjamin Button is going on, but something's going on because all these teams are losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to.
Okay. I'm okay, I got you in the corner. I'm gonna keep you there for a minute, right, fam? So is that about maturity? Is it about maturity? Is it about trust? Trust in the system, sticking with it? Or maybe it's about some X factor that we're missing.
I think it's the X factor. I think everything goes back to the mean. I think you had a lot of teams with 5 games left that had less than double-digit losses for the season.
Right.
And I think, as the schedule goes on, you start playing everybody. The strength of schedule changes. A lot of teams got those cupcake games early on, and now they're playing some meaningful games with some harder teams. They coming back to back to back. So now I think everything's regressing back to the mean. But I like that because now you get to see the cream really rise to the top. About not only is it teams that are playing good, but it's important that they clicking and playing good at the right time, coming up to race to one.
Very good point. And as we talk about, as our boy, our boy Bob, right? Bob is always going to remind us what they're kids, blah blah. You know how my fun size boo do, right? He's always trying to bring us back to that situation. Maybe it might be that X factor. Part of X factor could be, listen, this is a long season for some of them, right? So we look at that factor along with the maybe pressing a little bit because you feel you're so close. You start to change who you are, or like you said, maybe you're becoming more of who you really are and not realizing it. We start to see those things happen. It's just what it is on the is, right? So interesting to see. It'd be good to see if they can maintain this. You said this from the beginning, by the way. I got to give you props, right? You said this from the beginning. You've always said that teams that are up and down, up and down, up and down, the first thing you always say is you can't trust them. And I feel exactly what you're saying. as much as I like Beast of the East, as much as I like what they're doing, it's really hard to trust them with all that's going on for them right now. So we just see where that's going to take us in the future.
For sure.
So
I
my
agree.
dude Blaze, my dude the Blazer, man, I love hanging out with you, bro. Let me tell you something. Even when we don't set a couch on fire, we have fun. We have fun no matter what's up. So
For
let's
sure.
take a look around the league here. Let's take a look around the league here. Run DMV just got through handing it to Bad Boys. Are you surprised?
Mm-mm. I've been saying this and screaming it since day one. I do not trust their de facto leader, which is Phenom. I've been saying that, screaming that since day one. Nothing about that for me has changed. Um, I just don't trust. I think that he brought a lot of extra baggage that wasn't worth um it at the end for Bad Boys. Now I'm glad they got a new head coach, and I hope
Right.
the head coach takes these games in to kind of figure out kind of what kind of system he might want to run and play, or who's coming back, and kind of what he wants to do moving forward. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
And it's funny that you would say that because you look at the fact that tonight he has a double double, right? So he has 19 points, 12 rebounds. You figure that's a nice, solid, strong performance. He also had some backup coming from Samuel Baggins and Malcolm Chamberlain, who got a dirty stat line tonight, family. A dirty in the house. Malcolm Chamberlain. He ended up with 10 points. Samuel ended up with 15 points. Across the table, everybody got some points. We almost had double-digit points from Bo Pagnotti Jr. But you would think with that kind of production, right, it wouldn't be 80 to 68. If anything, it should
Right.
have been 80 to 78, right? So what does that tell you? No defense is getting played. Run DMV, they did their thing. You're right about the not trusting. Okay, so let me ask you. I got you in the corner again, so let's go. You talk about Phenom. He put out the numbers tonight. Do you think it's about his numbers, forget the team numbers, or do you think sometimes he pulls himself away from the team scheme and that hurts their overall ability to perform as a unit?
Yeah, I think the whole Phenom, everything that comes with Lorenzo Phenom, including his dad, I think that's just been one big cloud that's just being larger and larger over the team's head as the team progresses. Um,
Fair.
and it's not able, and they're not able as a team to overcome that. Um, I just think that that's the big component of Bad Boys basketball. Now, look, granted, they have the number one assist guy in the league in Samuel Vargas, but outside of that, they haven't had a consistent number two. Bo Pagnotti hasn't had a great season. I thought he was going to have a
True.
much better season this season than what he's had. Aiden Weaver has shown a little bit of signs here and there, but nothing consistent. So I do give Phenom a hard time, but no one else on Bad Boys team has really stepped up and said, you know what, I'll take the bull by the horns and I help lead this team. Both Vargas is a genius with the ball in his hand, but outside of that, they don't have a really another consistent score to go along with Phenom. And you got to get stops in timely matters in the game, and they're unable to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? There you go. You're absolutely right. And speaking of not getting stops in a timely manner, you know how I'm always pulling for the ill, right? I love me some Philadelphia. I've been pulling that wagon all year. But you know what? I think I'm hurting them because they dropped one tonight against the reigning Trays. And because when we say reigning Trays, you know what you got to say? Charalama Popula! Hilo in the hizzy. So, he did a little something, something tonight. Not as much as I want him to do. I just like saying his name. He had one rebound and one assist, no points, but that's okay. I still love my man. But look, the ill puts up 58 points. They get stronger as the game. They start off strong, go down, get stronger at the end of the game. It's almost like if it wasn't for quarter two and quarter three, this whole season like they would be in the game, right? It's like
Right.
for some reason those quarters are like they just can't get past it. What do you see for the ill? And let's just go and just move it forward because I'm officially gonna just turn in my ill support card. What do you see them doing for next year, and what do you think this win tonight means for the reigning Trays?
Well, the Rain Trades needed to get this win. I think they need to get some momentum going in their favor. For Philadelphia, they have, there's a good thing, bad thing, right? The bad thing is Your team is not very great, and so you're gonna have a losing season. You're not making it to the race to one. But the good thing is they've been not so good for so long that you know what you have. There's something to be said
Right.
about that. There's some teams
Right.
who are not sure the players that they have, if they keeping them or they can't cultivate it because they're not quite sure. With Philadelphia and the coach, Philadelphia coach Dries, I think he knows exactly who he has and
Great
who he
point.
doesn't have. Of course, Nas Hall is a stud. Outside of that, I like Jermaine Owens. So I say this: you have Nas Hall, you have Jermaine Owens, and then you have the other guys.
Right.
And a lot of those other guys are going off to college. They're going to be out of the sim world, moving on to other things at the end of the season. So
Uh-huh.
to look at it as a glass half full situation, this gives the coach a lot of stuff to work with because he's not bogged down to so many commitments at the end of the season, and he can kind of build a team that he wants. Of course, he's going to have to build it around Nas Hall and Jermaine Owens. You know, so it'd be interesting to see which route he takes, but he has a lot of options and a lot of different ways he can go as far as building this ball club for next season.
Great point. Great point. Way to put it in there. So now look, I need you to flash to the post for me. Give me my 3 in the key. Let's talk about the game coming up here with Rocky Mountain Monsters and Sim World South America. Give me my 3 in the key. Hit me hard. Hit me solid. Make me take that charge 3 times. Let's go.
If you're South America, if you want to have a chance to win in this game, because Rocky Mountain is on a heater, if you're South America, you have to slow down their fast break and transition buckets. You want to put them in a half-court game. That way you have a fair shot. Simpactigo has to do his thing, and Ramirez has to be as good as advertised. On the other side, if you're Rocky Mountain, you want to run the ball down their throat. They cannot keep up with you man for man. As far as running up and down the court, you can do that, run the ball and hit your threes. And then I expect Rocky Mountains to come out with this victory. But who knows? It's been really wacky these last few weeks in the sim world. So who knows? I'm expecting Rocky Mountains, but who knows?
I'm 100%. I'm with you. Patricio Ramirez got to get it done for his team tonight because as he go, they go. So, all right, here we go. Now, I'm going to get you back in the corner. Let's talk about some get back, all right? It don't have to be sports. It don't have to be anything. Except for you got to keep it so we can actually not get fined by the FCC. So,
okay, I'm gonna try.
Tell me a time on a team, on a gig, in whatever you got played dirty, and they got a supposed win over you, but you were able to get them back when it counted the most.
Oh man, you know my ex called me the other day. I can tell you about that time. So look, hey. You know, she decided some time back ago, it's been over whatever, a year or whatever. She decided that this was no longer going to work for her. Cool, you know. So I went on by my little business. She happens to call me the other day. This is a true story. Happened to call me today and said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" She said, "My grandmother asked about you today." Really didn't she now? She wants to know how you was doing. I said, didn't she now? Baby, like I must say, I tell them all the time, you gonna need me before I need you. Play your cards accordingly. The get back is real. See you at the top.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate to tell you, she also called me too, brother, but that's another thing. So here we go. Here we go. Coming up here tonight. Well, I'll tell you mine real quick. I had a situation where this guy was cheating, trying to get the top score in our science class. And then, oh, by the way, we had to take our final test with the teachers and monitors sitting around us, and he couldn't cheat anymore. And that's what counted for our whole grade for the season. I popped out another A. My man dropped from an A average to a D average overnight. I'm just gonna say, get back. That's where we belong. Thank you guys for checking out the post tonight with my man, the Blazer.
Yes, sir.
And me, the maestro. Stay tuned for this next game coming up. Get your love in. Give our production crew a shout out. Let us know what you want to hear on the next post up, fam. And don't forget, whoever took Darth Vader's inhaler, give it back and give him a breath mint while you're at it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cattle Ranch Arena, where today it's Game 2 of our SimWorld doubleheader, and we have the Rocky Mountain Monsters playing host to SimWorld South America. I'm B-Ron, alongside me is my SimWorld Today co-host, Siege. Oh man, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Fun first game to watch. Beast of the East looking great, and I'm actually really excited for this matchup. You got Rocky Mountain. We know they're a very good team. Actually, with a win tonight, would tie the Originators at, I believe, 21-7, looking for that #1 seed in the Legacy Conference. And on the other end, you've got a South America team who, statistically speaking, is not completely out of the race for one just yet. They still, if they were to win out, that window is open depending on some other teams losing, and they have been playing phenomenal, specifically around their star, Patricio Ramirez, who does not get his due often enough, in my opinion. He is a dominant big.
Yeah, he really is a dominant big, and he's going to have his hands full tonight, I feel like. Rocky Mountain has some great bigs on their team. Rory Washington comes to mind, Justin Bell. They have a few other players like up for on that side as well. It's going to be a fun game, Siege, and we have some colorful uniforms here as well, as these two teams have some of the more colorful uniforms in SimWorld Hoops. Excited to see these teams on display. Let's get it going. What are you looking for, Siege, as far as strategy on the court for both of these teams to get this thing started here? You mentioned Ramirez. Oh, and there's a big two-handed flush right there. Get them 2 points. Foul on Lucas Banks. We'll see some free throws here very quickly for SimWorld South America.
I'm looking for SimWorld South America, play through Patricio Ramirez. Let him do his thing. Rocky Mountain, Daquan McDougal is a nice defensive big. He's not quite as strong as Patricio Ramirez. I think for them to have a chance tonight, they need a big game from Ramirez. On the other side, we know they've got a plethora of options. Justin Bell, always liable to ball out. I would like to see a big game from Lucas Banks. I really like Lucas Banks. I like his game. I think he could be a big key to this one. And then just the other role players showing up. Rocky Mountain needs to stay within themselves. Don't let the fact that South America's been balling out lately get in your head or anything like that. Play your game, play it well.
Yeah, SimWorld South America coming into this one on a 2-game win streak. Their last one, win over South SimWorld Africa. That was a 81-61 win. Both teams actually riding win streaks. Rocky Mountains is at 5 in a row. Their last game was a 80-76 win over Best Coast. Both these teams riding high the last couple of games, and there's a great steal going the other way. Now they got to finish it. And they do. Nicely done. From Carmelo Vega. Those are the kind of steals you love to see. Go ahead, Steve.
This is the energy I need to see from South America all game. They've come out energized. The big slam and one to start it, the steal, the layup, the defensive intensity too has been great. And I mean, that's great defense, better offense from Justin Bell. But that's what I want to see from South America all night. They need to keep the energy up because they are outmatched talent-wise. And that's no slight on them, but this Rocky Mountain Monsters team has a lot of talent. But there it is again. They're going to the rack. They're being tough going to the rim, and they're energized. If they can keep that up all game, that's a recipe for winning.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing you definitely want to see be kept up throughout the majority of this game. If they want to have a chance in this one, I think that's going to be the way to go. And how do you go about keeping that energy up, Siege, all the way as there's Daquan McDougal scoring again?
I think you just got to keep in mind what's at stake. Like we said at the top of the broadcast, they have a chance. It's a small chance, but there's a chance they can make the race for one. It's there. But really what they need to do, they need to win out. And win out means win every game, as we all know, and this is the first one of the rest of the season. So just keep that energy up. Know what's at stake. You can rest at the end of the season. Right now, it's time to put on 110%.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, you got to give it your all. That was Adelson Sampaio on the South America end, getting their bucket. It's 11-8. Rocky Mountain Monsters still trailing, but not by much. Not by much. I like what I've seen from Sampaio to begin the game for South America, and of course we saw Enrique Abalume get that first dunk as a wide open 3-ball and falls. That's Carmelo Vega scoring again. I want to give him a lot of those looks, Siege. Not that wide open anyway. Anybody will make those. Let's make this. All right, that was not McDougal. My apologies. That was Ireland Early getting the layup of the ball on that one.
Ireland Early was really hot to start the season. He was a big talk. He's calmed down a little bit, but he's still got all that talent. It's still one heck of a player.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the better three-point shooters in the league, next to Trey Turner and Barkley James, comes to mind as well. And there's Kenneth Gaffney getting himself on the board, cutting the lead to 2. South America has seen their lead drain a little bit here over the last few minutes.
Absolutely, they're hitting their shots too, and I think part of that is they're going to the rim, they're sucking the defense in. It looks nice.
And there goes Mike House, getting himself on the board. Both these teams are doing a good job early on of finding their way to the rim any way they can, and most of the time we've seen them hit their shots, be it in traffic or otherwise. And there's a good ball from early. It's good.
That's so clean. It just looks so pretty coming out of his hand.
Really does. He has one of the prettier shots, in my opinion, in SimWorld hoops. And when it looks good like that coming out of the hands, it'll look even better when it goes in.
That it does.
Sampaio can't get it to go. What? And he gets the rebound and puts it back up. That's why you follow your shot. Very important to do that.
Offensive glass can be a huge asset if you play it hard.
And we saw that come into effect last night when Heartland beat Showtime. As there's Google on the glass, grabbing his rebound, reset the shot clock. Rocky Mountain. Gaffney drives, layup off the glass foot.
We've got a burner here. These teams are lighting it up so far.
And they are going back and forth, trading punches. No feeling out process here. These two teams are going for it from the opening tip-off. It's been a fun, almost 6 minutes so far in this one. It's gone.
Tough.
Great defense there, but rebound gives South America a second chance. Mike House with it at the top of the key. Gonna drive inside, use the glass. Can't get the layup to go, though. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Justin Bell inside. He can't get it to go either. There goes Carmelo Vega once again. Rising up to the occasion this time. Putting it down with one hand to get them more points on the board. Time off for Rocky Mountain Monsters. 20-17 lead for SimWorld South America. We're going to take a quick break ourselves. Come right back for the rest of the first quarter.
Remember those pesky squirrels?
Uh-huh.
Well, I trained them.
Fun! Squirrels cutting coupons.
Yep. It's going to save us a ton of money and time.
I love your brain, Bob.
Me too.
Enough! Your tyranny ends now, you filthy humans! Not up, my brothers!
You seem so cool!
Yeah!
Ow!
The day of the squirrel is upon us!
No!
YOLO!
Oh, it's biting my head! Oh, God, it's mating with my mouth.
Bobby! Just get it off!
Welcome home!
Mom, Dad, this is Cindy.
Cindy, yes.
So nice to meet both of you.
It's nice to meet you finally. Travis has told us so much about you.
All good things, I hope.
Yes, of course.
Good.
Please,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Oh, Mom, no. Dad, this is Shannon.
Oh, hi.
Shannon?
And this is Aaron.
Hey, cutie.
That is Jessica. Jenny, Sarah, Megan,
Hi.
Nicole, Elizabeth.
Acts. Use in moderation.
Welcome back, everyone. 1:36 to go here in the first quarter. For this one, I want to take a quick minute while we have a bit of a break in the action. Let you know to follow us on all of our social media, SimWorld 4K everywhere. That's here on YouTube. That is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those places. Follow us over there while you're here on YouTube as well. That is youtube.com/SimWorld TV, where you're watching the game right here. You should check out all of our shows as well, all the various shows and podcasts we have for you. And then, of course, if you're interested in joining us here behind the mic or as a writer, we are looking for people to do that as well. Good time to do it. Race 1's coming up. Get yourself in on the action behind the scenes and come be a part of our media team.
B-Ron, speaking of all the great shows, podcast content we've got here in our sim world, what's your favorite show or podcast that we've got?
That's not our show?
Sure, that's not our show.
That's not our show. I am a big fan of the Mark Pod.
Oh, me too.
Rory Washington gets himself on the board here, cutting the South America lead to just 1. But a quick answer from SimWorld South America as Patricio Ramirez jams it home.
He's got to get more shine, I think. Not on the court, but in the community, in the media, things like that.
Quote, unquote.
He's got to get more shine.
Yeah, he's number 2 in double-doubles in the league, so he is putting up the numbers for sure. It might just be where he is playing, and his team isn't all great, unfortunately. But Carmelo Vega getting himself on the board here again, 24-19. Final 40 seconds of the first. Ticking away here. But I do agree with you, CJ. I do think that Patricio Ramirez does deserve a little bit more love. As Big Maury Washington goes to work and gets himself another bucket there. 2 more points for him.
And B-Ron,
and making an impact. Go ahead, CJ.
I know this is a tough question because there's a lot of options, but would you, quick answer, no explanation, would you consider Patricio Ramirez a top 10 big in the league?
Top 10 big? Yes. As a big himself, yes. But a top 10 player, no.
No.
Final shot of the quarter is no good. And
top 5 big?
Yeah. Top 5? I wouldn't go that far. 24-21, SimWorld South America on top. Welcome back, everyone. Second quarter action set to begin here, and SimWorld South America has themselves a little lead. Siege.
That they do, and if they can keep the energy up, they're gonna keep that lead, I think.
Yeah.
And now, B-Ron, before we get back into game talk, I'm not letting you get away from this one. You said Patricio Ramirez, not one of your top 5 bigs. So now I know it's tough. If we talk about it, really depends on how you define the list that you're making.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving you a definition. Just top 5 best overall big in SimWorld. Who are your 5 then? Who are your 5?
Fair enough. So I will put Derek Long on there. I'll put Aaron Payne in there. I'll put Arthur Lattimore in that list. I'll put Nick Hugo in that list.
In your top 5?
Yes.
And who's the last one?
Last one, look, he gets a lot of flack, and I think, and in some respect, it's deserved. But I still think that Lorenzo Phenom is in that list for top 5. Or sorry, Tyson Simpson.
About to say.
Sorry, I forgot the main one that I wanted to have in there. Tyson Simpson. He's the main one I wanted to have in there, and I missed over completely.
Look, I do think all of those are super valid picks, but I mean, we're leaving, and that's why this is a tough topic. But we're leaving out guys like Victorious Ilgauskas, Trey Hotman.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of bigs. And for me, I love Aaron Payne. I love his game. The reason for me I can't put him as a top 5 big, and maybe I think he's fringe top 10 for me. The reason for me being, he's a really good defensive presence. He's a good rebounding presence. But there's another big on his own team who offensively outdoes him by a mile, in my opinion. Tyrell Thompson is got a really great touch to his game on offense. That's not to say Aaron Payne is not one of the better top echelon bigs in the league.
Right.
Arthur Lattimore, I think I agree. Even though at times I would put him in the, he could play the wing at times. But yeah, he's a top 5 big in the league. I like that pick. We're going to bring in Ron Yell from the sideline.
Yeah, what you got for us, Yell?
Well, what an introduction. My God, guys, don't hold back at all. I was just talking to, just had a chance to talk to Mateo Fernandez. I am fluent in Espanol, yes. Talking to him on the sideline about the very topic you guys were just discussing. And he said, hey, man, no one's down here with cameras very often in South America at Oscar Schmidt, but Patricio Ramirez is definitely a top 5 guy in his eyes, and he wants to bring that to the light for all of the colleges out there. He leads the team in points at 14 points a game, 9 boards a game, almost 9.5. He leads them in steals, and he's in the league leader in blocks as well as double-doubles. He said put some respect on him. I believe that's how you say it. You should have won that Espanol. Or Patricio Ramirez's name. Back to you guys.
Well, Yell, that's great, but since you're fluent in Spanish, I'd like to hear all of that, but in the words it was actually said in. So please go ahead. Did we lose him? Oh, man. Come on.
I think we lost him, yeah. Speaking of those colleges for Ramirez, he's got Texas State, and New Mexico State interested in him, or they have interest in him anyway, so we'll see where he decides to end up playing his college basketball. But which one of those schools do you think would be the best fit for Ramirez?
Texas. One, I just think it's the best fit scheme-wise. They've had some good bigs in their history. And 2, exposure-wise. Coach was just talking about it as Yells was telling us that there aren't a lot of cameras down there too often, and he doesn't quite get the exposure he deserves. Going to a school like Texas will assure him that he gets the exposure he needs to make a run at going to the next level after the college level, the pros. So
absolutely, perfect school for him as Maury Washington gets himself on the board once again, cutting the lead to 1. We'll see if they can take the lead this time. South America is going to use one of their timeouts, their first of the game here, or second of the game here, I believe. I'll check that for you, but 28-27, South America in the lead, and they're holding on to it pretty well. They haven't allowed Rocky Mountain to take control. What do you think Rocky Mountain has to do, Siege, though, to regain control of the lead and ideally keep it on their side? But they haven't gone on a big run yet.
No, I think what they need to do is, we talked a lot about, it's clear that what South America is doing is keeping the energy up, going to the rim, things like that, just being aggressive. I think what Rocky Mountain needs to do, slow the pace down a little bit. They kind of slow it down, play their game. They're a more disciplined team. If you go by the history and what's been going on this season, they're a more disciplined team. They're a team with more options, I would say. Now, a lot of guys are getting it done for South America tonight, so no disrespect there. Rocky Mountain has a few more options. Spread the ball around, find the good shots. Take all the time you need to find those shots, because if they keep rushing it and they keep kind of letting South America keep the game at a fast pace, that energy that South America is bringing is going to continue to pay off more and more. If they slow it down, that's going to maybe drain a little bit of that energy out of South America.
Most definitely. I have to agree with you there in that regard. And South America, they're going to have to keep that energy up. And I think a good way to do it, like you said, is just to keep playing at the pace that they are right now. Keep being the pace setter for this game. Don't let Rocky Mountain get into a spot where they start to do that, as there is a lob denied. DePaul McDougal said, not yet. You have to try a little bit harder to get over me. Can't get the bucket to go, though. So the 1-point lead for South America. Taking their time, setting things up. Going inside.
Oh.
Get that out of here. Has DePaul McDougal. Sending it back the other way. Inside pass. No good. Rebound. Second chance. There it goes. Up and in. And just like that, Rocky Mountain has the lead again, folks, 29-28.
And what South America needs to do right now is keep doing what they were doing. Don't let it deter you. Don't immediately think, oh, we need to change everything up. Keep playing with that energy, and they can get this lead back easy.
They most definitely can. They have plenty of time. Shot clock here winding down though. Spin, whoa! Spin move inside, and the two-handed jam. My, oh my.
Washington Debrito.
Oh, thank you for that. See, I was trying to find the name here on my sheet. Washington
Debrito.
And there, Patricio Ramirez getting himself another dunk in, just like that. Here we go again. America has the lead right back.
He might have heard us over here from the broadcast booth, questioning whether or not he was top 5 because he wants to show out a little bit.
Yeah, I think he took that personally. As Abalume throwing it down again.
He's so tough. He had that big slam at the beginning of the game. He's just a tough player.
Look, that kind of thing to start the game will make me remember your name very quickly for the rest of it.
Oh, that's for sure.
And there's Justin Bell. Made the mid-range jumper to fall for him. 34-31. They're hovering around the 3-point margin. Is Rocky Mountain had the lead earlier, but it got taken back very quickly by South America. Wait, see, they cut you off there.
No, I was just saying this game's going back and forth. I love it. I love it. This is what I want to see. I love, BTE played a great game, great basketball by them, but nothing I love more than a good back and forth.
We love seeing those back and forth games. As McDougal, we had to get caught with the foul there. And Mike House going to the line for 2 shots here. Try and make it a 6-point game for them.
B-Ron, am I tripping, or was there definitely an NBA player named Mike House not too long ago?
I feel like there was.
Yep.
I feel like there was.
War number 55 played for the Rockets. I think he played for the Celtics at one point. The Heat. He was a little scorer. I think. Maybe I'm thinking of Eddie House though.
Maybe. I think you are. I think so.
I'm thinking of Eddie House. Yep. Eddie House. That was him. Yeah, Duke Canoe.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and that's the thing about the NBA too, in that level is that, I hear it. You hear all the time from people who say, "Oh, X guy sucks," or this guy isn't all that good or whatever. And I know we speak about it a lot, but they're all in the NBA for a reason. You wouldn't be in the NBA if they weren't that good. You know what I mean?
Dude, I agree. I mean, those are the 400 best basketball players in the world, realistically. Like that's,
yeah.
What is it? What's the number? I think it's like 4,000 something players have ever played in the NBA. That's wild.
Yeah, it is. And so to look at a player and say, "Oh, they're not that good" or whatever it is, that's just crazy talk, man. A little bit too macho for me.
What I think people saying that right before we get back to the game, I know we got a little off track, but when I think of people saying that, I remember when Mike Beasley kind of faded out of the league for whatever reason, and people were like, "Oh, he's not that good," whatever. Bro, Mike Beasley is one of the most talented basketball players who has ever lived. You see him in open runs and stuff. It's the kind of thing where all of these people who would say that about NBA players, if you saw them in an open gym at a rec or something, they're dropping 60 on your head.
Yeah. They could play 1-on-5 and be okay, I think. I think that's how good they are. Get that out of here. But it doesn't matter. Teammates there, McDougal to clean up the mess and get the layup to go. 38-37. Rocky Mountain has the lead back as we get down to the final 30 seconds of the first half. A fancy finish. Silky smooth finish from Addison Sampaio. Man, that was so good.
Little slithery guy getting to the rim.
Yeah. Reminded me of a guy by the name of Randy Orton. He's played for he's played in the league. 39-38. Final 10 seconds here of the quarter taken away, and now before some more excitement. as Patricio Ramirez catches the lob and lays it up. Tough style. Final shot of the half does not fall. 41-38. Samoa South America taking the lead into the locker room. Been a back and forth affair so far, Siege. What kind of things are you looking for from both sides for adjustments as the second half gets going there pretty soon?
I want to see Rocky Mountain find more plays for Ireland early, hit a couple shots early. I want to see them kind of get back to that, have them come off some down screens, maybe some back screens, things like that. If you got to go baseline to baseline with him, whatever it is, get him the minimal amount of space that he needs to shoot because he doesn't need a lot. I'd like to see him kind of get going. I think that would take a little air out of South America's game. For South America, I don't really think any adjustments need to be made. Just keep playing hard, keep playing energetic. If anything, maybe get the ball to Patricio a little more often. But again, I think what they're doing is working. No one really expected them to win this game. But here they are, balling as they have been. They've got the chance.
Yep, we'll see what we're supposed to in the second half. Come on back for it.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Welcome back, everyone. Second half action. Get ready to begin here at the Cattle Ranch Event Center. Samoa South America, 41-38 lead over Rocky Mountain. And see, we got to talking during the break. We got back on the NBA athletes conversation. You were telling me a story about Quentin Williams setting the screen or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were just talking about, the level of athleticism that pro athletes have. And, back in college, I went to Alabama, and I was telling the story to my fellow basketball fan, Coach Skinny, earlier today. Quentin Williams, he's a defensive tackle for the New York Jets now. I think he just signed the huge contract, good for him. But we were playing at the rec one time, set a screen on me, I was seeing stars. Just the sheer size and athleticism of some of these pro athletes. Like, a normal person can't really play with them. you just can't.
Yeah, that's insane, man. I couldn't imagine knowing how big Williams is now. Like,
big boy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I wouldn't want it. No, I got his way. I'm too small. Yeah, right now.
I didn't even see him. I'll be honest. I was chasing my man, ran right into him. I don't think he moved, like at all. I don't think he even shook. Nothing. I think he just stood there. I'm not even sure he realized I ran into him, to be honest.
That's a lot of meat. Pause.
Pause. Resume.
Pause with that one. Ain't going. Nah, big pause with that. Anyway, back to action here. 45-42. From South America still in the lead here, and we spoke about adjustments in the second half. And back in the first half, what did you see from both sides that they did well? You like us to continue to do?
Energy, aggressiveness from South America. I mean, they're big. Patricio's being very dominant inside. We've seen Abalume be aggressive inside. We've seen Vega get to the rim really well. A lot of guys, they're playing aggressive. They're not letting the fact that this Rocky Mountain team is one of the best teams in the league deter them at all. And for Rocky Mountain, I think they are still doing a great job of staying with it. They're not used to being down recently. They're one of the better teams, but they're staying with it. They're not getting discouraged. They're playing their game. So both teams doing a great job tonight. It's just going to kind of be who can keep up what they've been doing. because whoever can be more consistent with that through the end of the game is the team that's going to get the win.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we forget now at this point of the season that Team of South America started off the season really good, and they looked like they were going to be much better than what we thought coming into the season. Now, it hasn't panned out that way for them, but as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they're very much still in the race to one conversation. They just have to keep winning games, and a win over Rocky Mountain, a strong team like Rocky Mountain, who's looking to be tied for that first place spot in the race to one, that would do wonders, I think, for them. It would get them into 3 games, number one, but also, again, just keep that momentum going. We've seen a lot of top teams fall over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's those teams with kind of that urgency, that it's the end of the season, let's show what we got. And I think for a team like South America, like you said, it would keep the momentum going. What it also does is it kind of gives them that confidence. Beating a top team, it's momentum, and it's that confidence of we can beat anyone in the league. If we can beat Rocky Mountain, we have a chance against anyone. It gives you that confidence going into your next game and into the rest of the season that they need to win out and potentially make the race to one.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, too. Making the race to one is one thing, but once you make it there, I think that really kind of solidifies it for you. Like, hey, we belong with these top 8 teams, top 16 teams. We made it here. You know? So now we really have to go out and show why we belong in that conversation. We earned this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about it a lot in basketball, getting hot at the right time. If they win out, they're balling out, they win out. That's a lot of momentum heading into the playoffs. They can ride that in there. Assuming they would be the 8th seed, would more than likely be matching up against a Southeast Select, potentially a Best Coast Ballers. 2 very good teams. But what I will say is, if they were to go up against the Best Coast Ballers, Lene Newman's a pretty good big man defender, but I don't know that they have anyone who can really match up with a Patricio Ramirez. Now you could go the other way and say that South America doesn't have anyone who can match up with LDO, but then again, who in the league really does? So it would be an interesting matchup. They ride that momentum, and seeding once you get there only matters for who you play. It's on neutral ground, so it's just hoopers hooping. So I mean, you just want to make it. Once you're there, it's a total reset. You're there. You're there, and that's all that matters.
Right, exactly. You know, just to go back to the LDO bit for a second, we know Rocky Mountain is a team that has a lot of kids who can get hot and get it done at any point in time, really. But, you know, a team like Best Coast, we know that it's a one-man show over there pretty much with Leif Darizello. They have other kids, role players who can obviously, you know, get it done, but it's not to the level of a Leif Darizello, if that makes sense. And there's talk all the time about, you know, what is the right style of play for this level of basketball, the prep level. Some would say it's all about having a one-man show or a 2-man show where you have the one kid doing everything, or do you go like Bay Area and they have a whole starting 5 that could do it for any point in time?
I mean, it's tough, and I think the idea of there's one right way to do it is baloney. It's baloney to put it that way. It's whatever. You have to look at the way your roster is constructed, how you were able to construct your roster, and you either construct a roster to fit what you want to do offensively, defensively, and, you know, scheme-wise, like you're saying, how are you going to play, or you get the best guys you get, and then you build your scheme around what you have. And what's going to work is whatever the roster you have is constructed for. I think it's more about adjusting to what you have than it is trying to do what's quote-unquote the best idea.
Right, yeah. What's the meta, if you will? Because there is a meta in real sports as well. It's not just a gaming term, folks. Meta is a very real thing. The reason why a lot of things work and why teams are building their squads in certain ways, so at the NBA level too. You know, everyone's trying to be Golden State. Why? Because it's worked for them. We're gonna take a quick break. Come right back. Welcome back, everyone. Good game here in our hands. A 5-point game for the Summer South America. Rocky Mountain still in the lead, though. We want to talk about some of these games coming up on Saturday. Yes, Tuesday. Tuesday's games. Yeah, there's a game on Saturday. I'll find that for you here. And I'll get that information. It's Showtime, SimWorld Asia Pacific. That's coming up on Saturday. Look out for that one. It's going to be a good one, I think, especially because, again, that is a rematch of earlier in the season. Showtime looking to get their win back. Attacking the rim with authority is Lucas Bankson throwing it down.
And this is the spot they got to be real careful at if you're South America.
Yeah.
Biggest lead Rocky Mountain Monsters have had all game. You don't want to let them get out to a bigger lead because that's when the energy starts depleting, and it's looking like their energy is depleting right now. They got to get fired back up. Somebody's got to take the initiative to tell everyone, hey, get back on your game. Let's go. Let's do this. It's only 5 points. Because if they let Rocky Mountain keep on this run, it's going to be over before we know it.
3-ball up and no good off the back rim and out. Oh, look, you get the rebound. Now's a chance for you. So they get that energy back up, and there's a foul. Roy Washington gets called for it. Free throws coming up for SimWorld South America. And it's Pedro Alexandra shooting 2 free throws here.
Free throws, B-Ron. You know how I feel about free throws. They call them free for a reason. Come on.
I know, man.
Hit your free throws.
We share the same viewpoint on free throws. They are one of the most important shots in the game because, like I said, they are quote-unquote free. You still have to make them, but no one's defending you. You have time. You got a routine that you go through before you shoot. Get into that. Get your shot up and make it count when you get to the line, because those can make or break you. In a game like this where things are starting to get out of control, sometimes slowing the pace down, getting to the free throw line can do wonders for your team. That's just if you're making the free throws.
Fun fact, B-Ron, in high school I was 100% from the free throw line.
100%. Look, man, that's real good. How many did you take?
Like my senior season, like 6. But
hey, look, man, 100%. I don't care what anybody says. I bet at 500 in high school I only had 2 at bats. I don't care.
Yeah. Ooh.
There's a turnaround jumper from Enrique Abalume.
Enrique.
That was a pretty move from him. Love to see those kinds of things on display. Knowing he has it in his bag, so to speak. Continue to work on that as he continues to get older and get better. Rocky Mountain, good ball movement here. Gotta find somebody open here. Tucker winding down. Banks can't get it to go though.
Here they go. Oh!
Okay.
Wasn't sure how that one was gonna end up, but he found a way to put it in. That's all that matters.
Yeah, look, that's why we were quiet. We were watching that in the air. Like, is that gonna go in? I don't know what that was, but it worked, I guess. Booby Walker flying through the air. Love to see Boobies fly, folks.
Every single time I watch Rocky Mountain, I am every single time shocked at the size of Maury Washington. Every single time.
Me too, man, honestly. It's a big kid. Lucas Banks can hit the foul. Yeah, he is a absolute unit out there on the floor. He's listed at 6'9", 254 pounds, 17 years old. And he has college interest from Texas as well.
Ooh.
He's also from Texas, so I guess it makes sense.
A little combo there with Patricio. Texas could have some nice talent there.
Yeah, they absolutely could. That That would be a wonderful combination of players to bring together, put them on the same team. That'd be fun. That'd be real fun, man.
Oh yeah, I would tune in for some Longhorns games.
Absolutely. I'm tuning in just to hear the fight song, though. That's just me. A lot of my college team choices and favorites are like that, or based on uniforms and fight songs. I'm weird. Leave me alone. Don't judge me.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you. It's all about the atmosphere. That's what we love about college sports. It's the atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. Is it the same thing for? Well, you know what? We only have 3 seconds left. I will save that for the fourth quarter, so I'll hold that thought. As the third quarter comes to a close, 1-point lead, 56-55. Rocky Mountain out in front. Can they hold on? Can Silver South America come back and win the game? We'll find out. Fourth quarter time coming up next.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. We been whipping, chopping pictures, popping like a candle soda, pop the piston, 7 digits, gotta count that quota, ever tripping, ain't no tripping, only shot with dollars rolling, can you dig it, I'ma get it, popping like a candle soda, popping like, whoop, popping like a candle soda, popping like a
baby, I'm just trying to
popping like a candle soda,
put a little pain away there.
Popping like a candle soda, popping like,
Keep that laughing up.
popping like a candle soda,
I got friends and you got friends. They in heat and we on 10. Lights, camera, and action then. If I say something wrong, it's an accident. Popping like a Zans when you hear your favorite song and you with your friends. Creek Blaze, OMG, I'm your biggest fan.
And
Well,
that's,
we
and
have
that's why I'm
a-
thinking James Harden's the best player of all time. I don't know.
We have a good game on our hands here. Everyone, it's a 1-point Rocky Mountain Monsters lead. You know what time it is. Put those scores up, folks. It is fourth quarter time. We are in for a fantastic finish here, Siege. It's been a back and forth game all game long, and I'm excited to see how this one's going to finish out. Great defense there, pesky defense, and it's going to go South America's way. They're going to get possession of it as well.
There you go. I mean, look, they've had energy all game. 1-point game. If they can come out in the fourth with the same energy they had in that first half, I think they can do it. They got to contain Justin Bell. He's gonna take the big shots. He makes them. So if they can somehow contain him, keep the ball away from him is the best plan. But if he gets it, just play good defense. See what you can do. Ooh.
McDougal though there once again to clean it up.
Clean up crew on aisle rock.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. 58-55. Rocky Mountain in the lead. Come right back.
Play jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, tandläkare at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
Sånn. Så skal vi sette en til.
Ja. Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey, open door.
Play on the floor.
Get over the floor. Open the door.
Wrong
Open the
voice
door.
command. Error.
Hey there, with a rock. Open door. Open door.
Higher volume. Higher.
Welcome back, everyone. 58-55. Rocky Mountain Monsters in the lead. We saw them extend their lead out a little bit towards the end of the third quarter, but South America able to respond and get it back to, again, once again, a manageable deficit here. They haven't been down by much since they've trailed throughout the third quarter. And how can Rocky Mountain get back to where they were at the end of that, towards the end of the third quarter with that run that they had?
Drain the life out of South America. I don't think the game plan here for Rocky is to take the lead they have and run with it necessarily. I think it's to keep this methodical, drain the life out of South America, drain that energy they've come in with out of them, just kind of slowly smother them, you know? You don't need to keep your foot on the gas too hard, go for the kill, just smother them. Not like that.
Not like that, but and I disagree with you there. Trisha Ramirez gets a bucket. I disagree with you. I think that this is the time where you have to put your foot on the gas more. you have to amp up the pressure more. If you don't, I think that Team South America is going to find a way to take the lead back and keep it for a little bit of time, maybe even win the game eventually. You don't want them to have that opportunity.
Well, we've got another sideline report. He's coming back in. We're going to be a little more excited for him because he was upset about it last time. Let's go, Yale. Come on in.
Well, look, guys, I had a moment to talk to Coach Myers, the interim head coach from Rocky Mountain. And he was telling his team exactly what you were saying, Siege. He said on the sideline, you guys are just fine. Just be patient. The game will come to us. South America cannot sustain our level of play. We will win out. That's what he was telling his team, guys. So just wanted to make you guys aware. Back to you.
All right, Yale. Now say the whole thing in Spanish. Oh, he's gone again.
He's gone again. Got him again.
I heard that, Siege. I'm back. And I got this in. Sábado Gigante. And thank you.
Ireland early, put that one down for Rocky Mountain. And you know, back to what I was saying though. I think, like I said, I think that they're gonna have to put it away. But I don't think you do it by force. You can still play your game and put the game away. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything extra, but you don't let them. It's not a 3-point game. It's not a 5-point game. 10-point, 12-point game. Get out to that point. You can do that by playing your game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're almost saying the same thing in different ways. I don't necessarily mean not to, put the pressure on. I think when I say, smother them slowly is kind of. You don't need to get out and run and play this chaotic basketball because early in the game they were kind of playing that fast-paced like energy basketball, and South America was winning that battle. It wasn't until Rocky kind of slowed it down, played their game, was patient, that they were able to kind of come back and get a lead. So I do think they need to put the pressure on. I think that pressure needs to come in a way that throws South America off of what they've been doing best.
Yeah. Okay. I think we are saying the same thing. We're wording it differently. But I think we're on the same page. Mike House couldn't get that 3 to fall. It's a 3-point Rocky Mountain lead.
Oh my
God! And a fancy pass leads to a jam from Daquan McDougal. 66,
He's a witch.
61.
He's a witch. Witchcraft has been banned. Burn him.
Absolutely beautiful pass leading to the finish. But another response there from Adelson Sampaio and the Symbol South America team as they continue to be pesky in this one, not going away. 3-point game. McDougal inside, scored again.
Having a monster game.
Absolutely monster game for him. I definitely agree. And I like that he flipped the screen there. He didn't. He got into a spot and said, "Psych, I'm gonna go."
I can play right there.
Yep. You thought I was gonna screen? I lied.
Psych.
Got him. 68-65. 3 minutes left here in this one. Lucas Banks trying to get past Abalume, and Rocky Mountain's gonna call a timeout there. That's a little bit of a. I think it's a smart decision to do it because of the defense that Abalume was playing, but they might need a timeout later on.
Yeah, they might miss it, but I think their plan is they're gonna make their adjustments here, hopefully come out, get a bucket, a stop, and be able to just take control of this game. I think we're at a point where South America's hanging around, but like we keep saying, Rocky Mountain has got the game a little bit more in their control. I think they just want to kind of cruise where it's at. If they can just keep playing smart basketball, smart shots, not give South America a chance to run, things like that, I think they can secure this win.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned for South America it's keeping the energy that they had in that first quarter. And, now that they're up here in the Rocky Mountain air and all of that, don't know how long they've been up here, but, that might play a factor into things too. But what else do you think that they have to do to get the lead back?
I think defensively, they need to make everything hard on Rocky Mountain. And that does come down to that energy. They've got to make everything tough for Rocky Mountain so that they can get out in transition.
All right, fair enough. And it's time for us to start talking about the player of the game a little bit, perhaps. With the lead holds for Rocky Mountain. Who's their player of the game for you, Siege? For me, it's Daquan McDougal.
That was going to be my guy, too. He's done a little bit of everything tonight, and a lot of his plays have been very timely, defensively, offensively. He's got some assists. He's been boarding well. He's just been kind of a little bit of everything for the Monsters tonight.
Yep, definitely agree with you there. For South America, they've had a lot of players do a lot of good things, too. I like what Carmelo Vega's done. I like what Abulume's done. I like what Ramirez has done as well. That one's a little bit tougher for me as of right now. Anyway, just because, again, I like what a lot of those kids have done tonight for this team to be in the game right now. But for them, who would it be for you?
I think, and I'm not going to go off of player of the game based on what you see on the stat sheet. I'm going to go based off of what we've been talking about for South America all night has been kind of the energy that they brought has allowed them to stay in this game. And for me, the guy who made a lot of those energy plays, who has kept his team energized, kept them pumped up, Abalume would be my guy for them tonight if they're able to pull this out. Now, that could change if someone hits a couple big shots here or is able to make their free throws. But I don't know. For me, it's Abalume.
Yeah, gotta make your free throws, especially here down the stretch. Sampaio missed his first one. Gotta get the second one here, though. Broadcaster's curse does not strike this time on the second one. 1 for 2 from the line. The 2-point game for Rocky Mountain. Ooh, behind the back move. He had space to go to the side to pass it to Justin Bell instead. Early for 3. No. Good look for him, though.
B-Ron, they have a chance to hit the magic number here first.
They do. They do. I mean, if Rocky Mountain gets a free throw, they'll hit it. Has it the number, right? Oh, what a block!
Jeez,
get that out of here. Welcome to the block party, man. Was Mike House on the block? Fantastic block from House. Missed 3 ball from him. It's good! There it is, Siege. There it is. The magical number.
B-Ron, they've secured the win.
We can lock it up. Go home early, folks. But Kenneth Gaffney said, hold on, we're not done just yet. Taking the lead right back. 70-69. Rocky Mountain with the lead. We're going to take a quick break. 1:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Welcome back, everyone. Tight ball game here. 1-point lead for Rocky Mountain, 70-69. We saw South America hit the magic number first, but it doesn't matter. Rocky Mountain back to the lead, and there's another block from McDougal. He's having a phenomenal night on both sides of the court. And there goes Justin Bell, throwing it down. One hand. 72-69. And there's McDougal again, jumping in the passing lane, getting another steal. Very active hands these last few possessions. And Lucas Banks gets himself involved in the jam party as well.
Seen the curse of 69 fall for the second time in the past week.
You know, we just might have seen it, and there's a lob that goes very badly, but not too bad. South America's going to retain possession of the ball. McDougal got early got up and knocked that thing away.
But big possession for them.
Yeah, they need a bucket here, big time. We are at the 1 minute mark of the game, and there goes Patricio Ramirez. 3-point game. Rocky Mountain still out in front. Everybody up on their feet. Kenneth Gaffney driving in layup. Too easy. Good.
That is simply too easy.
Nobody around him sees, and it doesn't get any easier than that. No one was in the lane. And he didn't have to work very hard for it at all. South America's going to have to work very hard for a bucket right here. And denied Daquan Ireland early. McDougal. That's in the passing lane for the third time in as many possessions here. Got the ball back for his team, and now they got to consider playing the foul game. And there it is. They're going to foul McDougal. Alexandra does. McDougal's going to go to the line for 2 free throws here.
What a game from him tonight.
Man, he's had a phenomenal couple of minutes here, especially. A good game all around from McDougal, doing everything on the stat sheet, filling it up. But in the last few minutes, he's been amazing on defense, especially. Look, the PA got this shit. I'm like, okay, let me quiet too.
You see his stance when he's shooting free throws? I'm so intrigued. Look at his feet. Look at his feet when he lines up for the shot. You can't see it from this angle. Yeah, there it is.
No, yeah, that hurts me looking at it. I'm sitting down.
It worked. It worked for him. Good for him. Good for him.
Hey, man, as long as it works. 78-71. Team of South America looking like they're going to fall in this one. That's inside to Ramirez. Shot up. It's off the glass and in. Not out of this one yet. 9 to the clock hits 0 anyway. Justin Bell with it, and they're going to foul him. Carmelo Vega on the foul, his first. Now Bell going to the line for 2 free throws as well.
McDougal, Lucas Banks, and Justin Bell is a nice little big 3 there. I mean, you got Ireland early too. Could call it a big 4.
You very well could call it a big 4, Siege. You definitely could. First free throw up and in. 79-73.
You don't want to miss this one.
No, definitely not this one. And he doesn't. Gets it to 80. 80-73. 25 seconds left in this one. 20 seconds left here. I think this one is pretty much wrapped up. Rocky Mountain's going to extend their win streak, and now it's all but over here. Rocky Mountain will extend their win streak to 6 in a row, 6-0 in their last 6 games, because that's how numbers and streaks work. And Team of South America is going to fall in this one, losing their win streak of 2. Going to 11-17 with the loss. Rocky Mountain out on top, 80-73. For everyone here at SimWorld TV, for Siege, our Southern reporter Yells, I'm B-Ron. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening, folks, and we'll see you in the next one. Remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game and be the game.